guys. How are you? Thanks for tuning in to Quarantine Classics.
Is that going to be the whole hour? Or?
The whole time. I'm going to do this voice. Excited.
Hey, I just want to reiterate that we do the Found Footage Festival and our weekly show, VCR Party. We play a ton of videos. This is the show where you don't play as many videos.
We're actually showing some videos in this one. And it's not because we got that email saying, please show more videos. That's not the reason why.
No.
It's because I talked to Rick Catchkey, who put together Consumption Optional, and he counted down his 3 favorites of these commercials that he collected. So we'll be playing that at the end. So there will be videos in this episode.
What I love about Consumption Optional, if you haven't seen us explain that before, is he just found all these old tapes that his mom had recorded of TV and just took all the commercials from it. And he strung it out in long form. It's like it's longer than feature length, isn't it, Joe?
It's about feature length. It's about an hour and a half. Yeah. He was inspired by that Joe Dante movie that I've never seen, that collage movie. Something movie orgy or something.
Which is just hours and hours long. I think it's even, But I like the idea. It kind of harkens back to those old mixtapes that you would make. So there's like themes to it. It's artfully edited together. So
it's not just like he's just throwing anything in there. This is all like meaningful stuff, and it's placed in an order, and it's great. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the other thing to mention up top here before we get into the terrible photos we've been playing, it's taken the world by storm, is that we did an EP mode. We kind of called an audible, and we've been doing these bonus shows for patrons at the $10 and up level. And each week we bring on usually a guest, and we'll watch a VHS tape in its entirety. And we played maybe a year and a half ago a tape called Basic Training for Boys, just a clip from it, which was just this perplexing video that our friend, comedy writer Craig Rowan, found. And we figured, hey, with Zoom technology, you could have Craig on to show more of this video. And so I just wanted to play a little bit for people who didn't see it before, and who people are, maybe they're on the fence about signing up for the EP mode club. Here's a little bit of Basic Training for Boys. It's an instructional video for boys on how to do basic things like put on your socks. We watched the whole video with Craig. So here's the dishwashing scene.
How about you wash, I'll dry, and be the DJ? Cool.
I had that kid's haircut, by the way. I think I showed a photo of it.
Hey, that kid's dance moves.
Yeah, this is what friends do.
Just 2 friends hanging out doing chores.
And one has to do the dishes, and one dances while he does the...
That's the division of labor here, yep.
Oh.
Is that how you dance, Nick?
It's actually not too far off.
Just help him. Just pretend like you're helping.
Ready to wash your dishes? Run a little dishwater. And add a squeeze of detergent.
We found out in the credits, too, why he's wearing a bright white Oakley shirt.
Take your
They got a
dishcloth
clothing
and
sponsor.
wash the eating surface of the plate.
I think they have the same
Then the back.
as VCR Party Live does.
Yeah? I couldn't hear you there. I kind of broke up for a second.
Rinse.
I like how they zoom in here. You can get a close-up of the plate getting rinsed.
Yeah.
Place your plate into the rack.
Okay. What's the other kid doing?
Do the
Still
same with the
dancing?
bowls.
Yep.
Okay. Why doesn't he
Wash
dry?
the inside
He does move over to dry
and the
eventually,
outside.
but right now he's just being DJ.
Rinse.
I just want to go back to when they zoom back to him and you see that he's still dancing.
Place your bowls into the dish rack.
Not yet.
Okay. Similar to plates. Gotcha.
Yep.
And with a tall glass
Still
and
dancing.
no brush,
Yeah.
take a spoon and your dish
All right, that's enough of Basic Training for Boys.
Oh
but,
boy, we're gonna get so many signups on that one. People are just flooding to.
That is not even the most confusing scene, and the thing is, like us, our guest Craig Rowan got obsessed with the video, and he made his kind of own version of it for a college film class. So he shows a little bit of that too. Well worth watching for the EP mode.
Yep, it's a good one. What do you think? You want to show us some plunkets?
Yeah, let's get into the segment that's taking the world by storm. Show us your plunkets.
Jim Plunkett. Jim Plunkett. Jim Plunkett had never known failure until now.
Just bask in it. I just like basking in that. Oh, it's so good.
So these are the terrible photos that we found of us. and now it's expanded where our viewers or Melindas have been sending in their own photos. I got a ton to show because I don't think I showed any last week.
What?
However,
yes, you did.
Not of the Melindas, I don't think. I think I just showed my own.
Oh, of the
ones.
Melindas, yeah.
I did.
But
I showed some of the Melindas.
Oh yeah, Steve showed some, but I've got a whole mitt full of them. Do you want to review though? Because
let's first go. Let's first count down where we stand. Last week, Emily overtook number 3 with this. My shithead hat, falling asleep picture got moved out. This week, Emily got set aside by Mike Drucker's pick of him as a child there, and number 2
as a 50-year-old child.
I love the garbage can behind him.
What are you looking at?
That's our new number 3.
And also, I just noticed this: his arms aren't long enough to fill out the sleeves. So I had that too. I had sort of a weird compressed torso. So a lot of jackets I had, the sleeves would just kind of bunch up at the end.
Oh, okay.
I had that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you and him have a lot of similarities. Well, number 2, holding strong, is Nick, showing his excitement at Red Robin here, and then number 1, I don't know if it'll ever go away. It's Steve's Jim Plunkett pick. So let's potential Hall of Famer Jim Plunkett. I just want to quickly share something that somebody sent in. I believe Rick Chilcott sent this in. He did a little artwork. We always thought that Steve looked like a thumb in that photo. I'm glad somebody finally did it. I'm so glad somebody finally did it.
He has a hat.
He's got his hat.
I wish we could do a side-by-side.
Yeah, I know. I don't think the technology's there yet.
We could play a game called Which One is Steve? And we'd have these side by side.
Oh, boy.
But last night we were just talking over text about what the latest seedings were. And George, you mentioned Dave Hawkins' lip. You said that had stuck with you.
It's haunted me ever since I've seen it. It gives me, it reminds me of H.P. Lovecraft's Shadow over Innsmouth, where people and fish start merging. And it's just, I've been horrified.
Well, it's ironic because that viewer who sent in a photo and a video of himself after having a bad reaction to shellfish. So maybe he was starting to merge with the fish.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, but anyway, I went back to look at it, and we can't include it because it's a video. It's not a photo. So it's a technicality. But I did go back to look at it, and I watched it again. I love it just as much as ever. But I think I mentioned before in the episode that my favorite part is when his lip smacks with his other lip. It's so big. So I just put together all those lip smacking moments into a little montage here. Yeah, so that's it. It was looped a few times.
The half burp, half hiccup is on him, though. That had nothing to do with the lick. He ate too fast
from the
or
shellfish digestion.
Yeah, exactly.
Shows your plunkets.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Nick, you got to go last because you still have good ones. Mine are starting to diminish.
Yeah, okay.
I'll go first.
I barely scratched the surface, so go ahead.
I asked my mom to send me some, and this is what she sent me. This one was in high school, of me doing like an air jam. I mean, I'm being ironic. I'm being joking. I'm being, but I don't know.
I remember that bedroom.
Yeah. Mark Grace poster up there, Roger Clemens poster. I got that NWA Ethel Verzagen poster over there. My parents were cool with me having that up on my wall.
Yeah.
It's like the Dream Team over your right shoulder.
Dream Team's over there. Yep. I drew my own Lynch Mob logo and hung it up on my wall. Very creative boy. So that's me in my bedroom in probably 1992. Here's a picture of me on stage, and I'm not wearing this as a joke. I don't think I tucked it in as a joke. I thought maybe I'll try it tucked in. Just look how terrible that looks. It looks awful.
Yeah, that's real bad.
Look, it's kind of just pouring over the side.
The belt is off center too.
It is. Yeah. There's so many things wrong with it, and just like with the flash. And
people saw that, they're like, "We're in good hands for tonight's show."
That's a plunkett, right?
Yeah, that counts.
That's definitely a plunkett.
I like how recent it is too.
Yeah, well, 2005.
Well, yeah, more so than a childhood pick.
Oh, this is my 30th birthday, and I was getting a Jello shot, and just look at my face there. It just looks
I think we might.
because
I think we
attractive?
might have something unseated with this one. This one is.
There's
You
so
look
much
like-
going on.
You look like you had an allergic reaction to shellfish on your whole face.
You look like you're being embalmed.
Also, like, she's attractive, and I'm like, like, just be next to an attractive person when you're that
She looks
unattractive.
thrilled. Hey, happy 30th!
Give me a kiss, baby. Just this poor woman. I hope she washed her hands after
Was
that.
she the bartender?
No, she was walking around with like these syringes full of Jello shots, and it was like $5. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Put it in my mouth. You think this is new number 3, or do you think?
Yeah, because I think I also like the Miller Lite. It's centered in the middle. It's almost like it's just sort of the focal point.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a great photo.
Wow, that's solid work.
I don't know what's up next. I don't know if it's one of me or if it's one of. It's
I like that your mom had that photo of you.
Oh, here we were talking about. No, my mom didn't have that
Oh.
one. That was not my mom's. Yeah. Actually, just the first one was my mom. This one we were talking about shorts on stage a couple weeks ago. There's a performer of a seminar who was wearing shorts as a performer, and I don't know. It just seems like you don't. If you're a performer, you don't wear shorts. And I found one of us both wearing shorts.
There's a reason for that. Where was this? This was in
Kalamazoo,
Michigan.
Yeah,
And it was
in a brewery.
Yeah, it was
And it was the hottest show we've ever done.
100 degrees, and they had no air conditioning. And I don't think we had a stage either, so we were just on the floor with everybody else.
Yeah, it wasn't really a venue that showed stuff,
No.
It looks like Joe didn't pack shorts. He had to cut them himself that day.
Yeah,
I wouldn't doubt it.
Totally, yeah. I think they were like brown corduroys that I just cut off.
And my shirt's mine kind of just looks like a skirt.
Well, we'll see it closer. We have very baggy shorts.
Yeah.
I think this is a good photo of you.
Sandals too.
Oh yeah. Let's
Wow.
let's zoom in on those sandals
Yeah.
too. Look at those are some
I miss
tanks.
those sandals.
Those are some tanks, though. Look at those sandals meant business.
They're made of recycled rubber. Those they're Birkenstocks made of recycled rubber. So yeah, I miss those, and I miss that skirt I'm wearing. I mean, you can't see the crease. You cannot see it.
Oh, you remember?
If that was Joe some Joe chicanery.
No, you remember everybody was just miserable at that show too. Just miserable.
Yeah.
And nobody was really laughing.
Yeah, the doors open.
There's a box fan.
Yeah, because it's too hot. You don't want to laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not being on tour isn't so bad.
Show business.
When you,
here's my brother. This is my brother's 16th birthday. I have 2 younger brothers, Andy and Alex. This is Alex. Andy and I were in college at the time, so he was home alone with my parents. And they still went through the motions of celebrating his birthday and getting him a cake and singing happy birthday. And he probably just wanted to go in the basement and smoke pot. But just look at his expression here. It's just does not want to be there at all. But this isn't a plunkett. It's a setup for a plunkett where he's opening presents. And this is a new kind of plunkett here, a closed-eyed plunkett.
Yeah.
You see it? A closed-eyed.
New genre.
The new genre of plunkett is a
wow,
closed-eye.
this segment has more legs than I thought it would.
We haven't seen a closed-eyed plunkett yet. So, yeah, that's him opening up his portable Discman. So, happiest day of his life. Look how ecstatic he is. All right, those are my plunkets.
Could be hanging out with my friends, but here I am with a homemade cake and a Discman.
I'd love to know when he blew out the candles what his wish was.
Plunkets.
I'd love to know what his wish was when he blew out the candles. Please kill me.
Steve, what do you got?
All right. I think I do have one that's going to come up with the close-eyed. First one is from a trip Joe and I took to Disneyland. Well, we really went down Florida. And I just like that we took this photo, but I was wearing a hat earlier. It was hot, so you can just see how sweaty my forehead is. Everything's just dripping down into it.
I think I look worse. I think it looks like I got stung by a swarm of bees. Doesn't it?
I also
they call those bad shellfish photos.
You're sweaty and I'm puffy. Ugh.
Yeah, it was not good of either of us, and we of course are wearing someone else's ears. I also want to point out that you were wearing the same shirt, which George pointed out in last week's Frenchie and the Creep. That is from not only Volume 8, but VCR Party 0.
It's in the top rotation of my shirt.
Uh-huh.
It gets a lot of play because it's fun.
All right, let's see. Can you guys see this next one?
Not
nope.
yet.
All right, I'll stop and share and then reshare. Sorry. Okay. This is my closed eye one that you can put in. I don't know what kind of shirt I'm wearing.
Oh yeah, just little slits.
But
there.
yeah, just really fun photo. Reminds me to always.
I feel like you've lost a lot of weight since that photo was taken.
Yeah, I was going
to say.
I feel like you've lost a lot of weight since that pic was taken.
I hope so.
I felt like you took up 30% of that photo. Like the whole right side was all you, and then there were 3 other people kind of in the corner.
Yeah. And then for my last one, just speaking about losing a lot of weight, I feel like my head here is like 7 times the size of. You see it?
Yes.
My God.
Yes. Oh boy. Did you suffer from giganticism as a little boy? Is that what that's called?
I don't know. I might have.
Macrocephaly?
That's the scientific name for gigantism?
Giant headism.
Yeah, so.
It's kind of fun to have Rain Man on the show every once in a while. Just chime in. Yeah, Steve, you had the opposite of a receding hairline there. It was actually encroaching on your eyes a little.
Oh yeah,
like creeping downward.
It was like a great bowl cut.
Good plunkets there.
Good plunkets, yeah.
George?
This is my last batch of plunkets, not because they don't exist, but because I just don't have access to them right now. Yeah. So it's tragic. So as I said,
did you ask your parents?
Well, the let's see.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah, sorry, I did too. Never mind. Forget the question.
All right, so this was during. So when you look at the contact sheet this was from a band photo session. I think this is ridiculous. I don't know.
It looks like you're skanking here, George.
Well, it looks like you're gonna cut out the background and put you in like you're toroing a bowl or something.
There's a lot wrong, but I don't really have much of an explanation for it. And then this was another one from that session, but that's obviously posed. So
I could see that on the outside of Caroline's, like appearing this week at the Comedy Cellar.
Creep.
And the sound you're making there is.
See a guy Google Live. And then my last plunket was from a. My God, that's
the Cure
haircut in 2007. I look like the guy from Crash Test Dummies or something. It's terrible. And that I thought I could pull off that hair and that shirt at the same time. That's not right.
Yeah, that's a horrible combo.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't look terrible there, but it's not.
No, I think you look fine. I think you look kind of cool, actually.
Not
as cool as your graduation picture with the gun.
Yeah.
But hey, did you have a gun? Where did you get the gun from?
I've never owned an actual gun that was a BB gun. That was purchased just for a goofy photo. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the main event here.
Here we are.
We'll start off with a reminder of.
Yeah, there's Steve. Is that no? That's the thumb photo, Steve.
Yes, that's not actual Steve. All right, this photo was. I call this photo the White Guilt family. My sister and I both asked for Cabbage Patch Kids, and my parents decided let's just be inclusive, and we got 2 black Cabbage Patch Kids, and that's fine.
That's good. That's progressive. That's great.
It is, but we're just a very white family.
And are you having a seizure in this picture?
I just don't think I wanted my photo taken.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's not good of either of the kids there. Red eyes. This one is from a little bit later. This is I'm going to say this was taken January 13th around probably 1988. I was wearing a shirt at the time. This was my, I think 6-month foray into playing the saxophone. So I had a saxophone shirt that I'd gotten for Christmas with different saxophone prints.
Wait, so you were starting to play the saxophone or you were going to play the saxophone?
I was playing it at this point.
Okay, so you got a shirt of the saxophone.
Yes.
Playing the saxophone.
I think my grandparents were trying to encourage me, and it didn't last long. I had more important things on my mind. So yeah, this is my sister's birthday, 1988. Looks like she has a coconut cream pie, and I'm pretending to pour chocolate syrup on her. I probably drank some, judging by my weight here.
But I remember, like early on when I first met you, you invented your own chocolate syrup that you mixed bananas in with it. Do you remember this?
No.
You made a chocolate syrup and you mixed bananas in it, and it had a banana flavor to it.
Oh, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, but I remember being like, "Who is this kid?"
I'm going to put it on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this kid.
Yeah.
This is my birthday a couple of years later, and I was part of the Weird Al fan club, and this is an exclusive shirt. You could only get through that. I just kind of circled it for my parents, left it out on the table, and here I am opening that up. I look thrilled.
Is that a 4X?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, that was big even for me. And
it's a bed sheet.
And fun fact, I also got a UHF poster that you can see rolled up by me there.
Nice.
So it was the birthday of UHF merchandise. So this would have been 1990, I think, because it came out in '89. So, and then here's some of the Melinda plunkets. We got a ton of them to get through, so I'm just going to go through these. This was Aaron. He said he shaved his eyebrows for this when he shaved his head.
I thought something looked off.
Yeah, but look at the background. We've got some weird, looks like maybe Sam's Club brand soda, empty Papa John's.
Yep.
And a Crimson Tide behind the bar. So I'm guessing
I love this photo. I love the framing of it. And yes, I was looking at him. I was like, what's up with him? And yes, you're right. The eyebrows are long gone. You
can even see the Dunker sauces for the Papa John's. It's got everything.
That's definitely off-brand soda.
Yeah. This was, people have taken a cue from you and just taken their husbands and put them in. So this is Brett. But Brett didn't send it in. Wife did.
That's a great one. That doesn't look intentional either.
No, I don't think it was on either of their parts.
Yeah.
All right. This is Candy. I love everything about this.
The underbite. Anytime you got an underbite.
And do you see the long braid down the side? Yeah.
Is that what that is? I thought it was mullet.
Well, either way, it's braided here. You can see the braid.
And I have a feeling that those glasses have a strap. I'm going to guess those glasses.
You would guess. They're not going to stay on their own.
No way. That's a good one. That's a total plug.
Here's Ed. Look at this costume. It's just the baggiest. He's going to protect the neighborhood.
George, you get into Batman. What do you think? Like you're a Batman scholar.
I think that's not canon.
What I love is this is clearly home sewn. You can see the patch is a little off, and the mask doesn't even come close.
He's going to leave fingerprints everywhere. They're going to figure out who he is.
Looks like there's some Ed's got like a little identification thing saying that he is Batman.
Yeah. When you find my body, this is where this is where my parents live.
Even the Batman ear is off to the side.
Yeah. Good attempt, though. It's better than a store-bought.
Yeah. I think
From a far ways away, I bet it looked good.
Yeah. All right.
A couple blocks, yeah.
Yeah.
This one's bad of both people, I think. This is Leland and his wife or girlfriend at a wedding.
Yeah, that's definitely. And is that an attempt at a
no.
asexual man?
No, this is taken pre-Red Robin.
Oh, wow. Okay, up the nostrils.
This is Lord Sphincter. Or Sphinctar, who often comments on stuff. This is a post-Halloween picture. Wow. I don't know. I think he looks awesome. I don't know.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah.
I think this is a cool look. I don't think this is a plunket, but
is this a costume, a Halloween costume, or a
Halloween? Yeah, but it's the morning after, and he hadn't washed off. I think.
Okay.
So I mean, I give him some credit for that.
I mean, that looks like Hollywood level makeup artistry there.
Yeah. Yeah. This is Matt Plunkett. I mean, this is pretty great. The bleach blonde hair.
Yep. The accordion. I mean, like, you just look like a badass whenever you get an accordion.
Yeah.
Looks like some giant shorts too. So
it's like you don't want to fuck with that guy.
No. This just came in on Twitter. This is Christy wearing looks like a tablecloth maybe for a dress here.
What's with the hand on his?
I don't know.
Gonna rip his heart out right there. She's just about to rip his heart out.
Yeah, this is the Temple of Doom she's in.
And also, she looks so pale, and he looks like he actually has color to his face, but for some reason, she's like ghostly white.
Yeah, she took the brunt of the flash, I think, on this one.
Okay. Solid Plunkett.
Rachel, I guess just the weird thing her teeth were doing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like if you can get a toddler plunkett. If you can have, those are rare.
So this is another. I just call this Sarah's husband. This is they're on one of those fan boats in Florida. They're in the front row, and she said the family all took pretty good pictures except for her husband right here.
Yeah, that's not putting the headphones up
Yeah. So she wanted to point out that her husband was the plunketeer on that.
And
one.
also the posture, the hands like
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Veronica. I don't think this is terrible. I think this is just fine.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah, looks like headphones and a dog.
I remember she posted this, I think, on the Melinda verse as well. She was getting some sort of medical treatment. I think she gets her spine straightened or something like that. So every single one she takes another photo of. And so there's
okay.
Medical plunket.
Medical plunkets. Another new genre.
This one is Ross. He said he's gone through a Cecil Fielder phase, and he compared this to me in Quebec wearing my Ronnie Cycli shirt with orange shorts.
That up.
And so now he put the photo of me from Quebec City wearing my Ronnie Cycli shirt and pink shorts on him wearing a Cecil Fielder shirt.
Yep.
Yeah.
We all went through it. We all went through a Cecil Fielder phase.
Yeah. So that's it. You can info@Found Footage Fest. You can send us your plunkets, and that's a little segment we call "Show Us Your Plunkets." All right, what do we got next?
Elf contest, 2 new entries.
Oh, I just have a quick update. So some people got them in after we'd already taped. This was our lawyer made face masks for people to wear out of old Elf curtains. And he made some extras. I gave 2 of them away when people would draw Alf into VCR party videos. And we got some new entries. And so what I'm going to do, I asked him if he could make another mask, and he's going to. And so I'll just do another drawing for one more. But are
you going to enter mine in there?
No, those are disqualified.
Technically, I entered. You said all you have to do is enter. Technically, I entered, Nick.
Yeah, you got me there. So here's some.
I'm going to talk to our lawyer about what you're doing right now with this contest.
This is Jenny Brewer put this together. This is video dating, which is actually going to be the video on our EP mode episode this week. We're going to have 2 ladies come watch these hunks from 1987 who are doing a video dating service. But here, they always would give their stats at the end. So here you can see it's first name Gordon, home, Melmac, religion, alien.
Is that really his weight and age?
That is his age, but I don't know about his weight. He seems he wouldn't weigh 430.
No, but I could see it being some sort of a thing, though, right? Like he has I don't know,
6 parsecs past the Hydra Centaurus supercluster, and then he likes Booyah baseball, which was in canon the sport they played on Melmac.
That's why I'm thinking this is all in canon. The 436 is probably his actual weight.
And fun fact, the reason I wanted to play saxophone was because Alf played it in an episode. So here's one Jessica Hart sent. This is Alf on VCR party taking Steve's spot. So sorry, Steve. If Alf ever wants to come do the show with us, you're out.
Makes sense.
Nice. What am I wearing? Is that just my hairy chest?
No, I think that's just a colored shirt with your red sweatshirt.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
This is I think it's feline control in the pork industry.
Rodent control.
Well, right, but Alf does feline control in the pork industry. So
I was ready to send you a Batman cereal.
No,
ready.
This is what he called it. Tad Spencer sent this one in. This is a parody of course, the rodent control in the pork industry.
Great. That cat is right on. That is exactly.
Yep.
I'm into it.
And so we got some new entries. As soon as Anderson said elastic is out of stock, but as soon as he gets more, he will. I'll draw another entry. So thanks for setting. I'm going to post all those on social media because they're too good not to have up.
So you haven't changed up the rules of your weird contest? No. Still doing the same weird contest?
Because I want it to be just for people participating. They have a chance. It's just like, sure, you can do the thing on the box of cereal, or you can just get a prize for without having to buy something. So that's kind of how I felt here.
Well, I hope you don't get any really crappy entries this week.
I'm not soliciting anymore. The cutoff has happened. The cutoff has happened last week. No more.
By the way, Alf weighs 38 pounds.
38 pounds?
Oh.
According to a role-playing game in which Alf is a character. It has his correct age and height, so I'm guessing this weight may be
well, hey,
the source.
When we, I'm sensing a spin-off show where me and George play the Alf role-playing game. So.
Well, also, Nick, I think you should remove that from the contest then, since it's an incorrect weight for Alf. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. You do your own weird contest. Don't look at me. It's all up to you. Don't.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying
terrible.
to dispute the Melinda's art. I was just.
Nah, George, I really screwed up this contest, and I'm gonna eat crow on this one. All right, what's up next?
You know what? I'll tell my number one story quickly.
Yeah, this is the new segment where we're having each other tell our number one stories in a fast fashion with some visual aids. Do you have visual aids?
I have some visual aids. Yeah,
Great.
I think that's going to be the hard part, is telling the story and doing the visual aids. But we'll see how this goes. Yeah, but we'll see how this goes. I debated which story to tell because I have a couple number ones. It depends on because I've found 3 dead people before. And so that's usually my number one go-to, but that's more of a depressing story because there's a lot of death and it's graphic. So I'm not going to tell that one. Instead, I'm going to tell the story of the time I went skydiving. And let me bring up some visual aids here. So it was my girlfriend at the time's birthday. And me and my dad, my brothers, we went out and to East Troy, Wisconsin, to skydive. And the way that you had to do it without taking lessons is you got put on somebody's back, like a professional's back. So I got teamed up with this guy here. And my girlfriend at the time got teamed up. I blurred her face out here with like this hunk who was really funny and charming. And, you know, they strap you to the back. And so you're actually like strapped on. And they're just having the time of their lives. And I'm freaking out a little bit, you know, because I know this about me. I'm an inopportune vomiter. Like I vomit at the worst, just at the worst moments. Like the first time I vomited, this is first of all, this is the rickety airplane that we went up in. And it was rickety and you could feel every little bounce. And that's when I started to feel queasy. And then I thought back about the time when I threw up on candy corn in my parents' kitchen. That was the first time I remember throwing up. Second time was over in a Cub Scout van, and I threw up all over Cub Scouts.
Can I interrupt for 1 second, Joe?
Yeah. Now, by the way, interrupt whenever you need to if you have questions.
I just have I have one quick question for you. So were you strapped to their back or were they strapped to your back?
They're strapped to your back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how you do the tandem. Yeah. And then you get to pull the cord, but you know, they're doing all the work.
Yeah. I just wanted to, because I think that plays later. You were saying they were strapped to your back.
Yeah. Oh, did I?
You were saying you were strapped to their back.
Yeah. I'm having difficulty negotiating the story with the visual aids. I should have maybe rehearsed this once.
So to be clear, it's you and then they're
you'll see a visual representation coming up here. All right. So then the other time I threw up was all over my cousins. When I was 12 years old, I'd eaten some Hershey Kisses and some warm Diet Coke, and we drove to Mount Vernon in Washington, D.C. to go on a tour there, and I threw up all over my cousins. We all still talk about it to this day, and I had to tour Mount Vernon covered in puke. So
that was it was right before your hug break.
My what?
Your hug break.
My hug break. Oh, was that what that? Yeah, that was a Google image. Yeah. All right, so we're going up in this rickety airplane, and I say to the guy who's strapped to my back, I said, has anybody ever thrown up on this, like while they're doing this? And he's like, no, I've been doing it for over 20 years. I've never had anybody throw up while doing this. Don't worry about it. He goes, it's a little bumpy, but you're going to be fine. So we get up there, and we jump out, and that's exactly what it looks like. And the free fall was awesome. My girlfriend at the time and we jumped out, and they're like almost the same time. And I don't know, I was kind of freaking out a little bit. I started to feel numb. Like I couldn't feel my body. Like I was like pinching my arm, and I was like, I can't feel anything. Like I've gone numb. And then my girlfriend strapped to the guy, and they're just having the time. They're just laughing, having so much fun. And, you know, they're strapped like in a humping position too, which just didn't make me feel comfortable. And I'm trying to, you know, I can't feel I'm biting my lip. I can't even feel it. And we're going
All right,
down.
let's get you in the humping position here, and we're going to jump on 3. Ready?
So we're going out, and then he pulls the cord, and then I start to feel the queasiness. I think it's a self-fulfilled prophecy. Maybe I get inside my own head too much.
Oh, that's definitely it.
Yeah. But he's pointing things out. And then at one point, I remember they were trying to be funny, and they're like, oh, we're going to collide you. We're going to have you guys meet in the air for a kiss or something. You know, and they're like kind of swooping us by each other. I was like, please don't fuck around. Let's just get down to the bottom here. But we're probably 5 minutes away from the ground. And he's pointing out, he's like, see, from here you can see Illinois. That's actually Illinois over there. And I'm not hearing a thing he's saying. And all of a sudden I burp up a little bit, and a little puke comes into my mouth. And I'm just like, okay, I just got to hold it in. I can't respond to anything, but I have puke. I'm gagging just thinking about this right now. I'm holding my puke in, and then finally I just can't even do it. We're like 3 minutes away from the ground, and I can't do it anymore. And I just, I just vomit, and it just goes up my face like this and into, you remember his picture, he had a beard. He had like a full beard. It went into his beard. And he goes, Jesus Christ, like he screamed. He was angry. He wasn't happy about it. And
imagine.
Yeah, but I think maybe he thought that I did it on purpose because I asked him about throwing up on the way up. And I think maybe that's what it was, that he thought that I did it like as a joke. No way. But that'd be a real psychopath to do that, right?
I think he was just pissed because he didn't want vomit in his beard.
By the way, I also think it's well within Joe's wheelhouse to do that.
I'm not vomiting on somebody. That's no. But it probably went into his mouth. It probably went into his eyes. It probably went up his nose. He was probably covered in it. I'm kind of gagging right now.
I think you're going to throw up before the end of the story.
So we land, and he's not happy at all. He's like, he's not pleased. And he's like, the golf cart comes over and picks him up, and he's like, I think you should probably just walk, dude, because you're covered in puke, and we just don't need any more puke on this. So I had to walk. I had to do this walk of shame, and my dad, girlfriend at the time, my brother, everybody was there, and just like, that was so great, just like the greatest days of their lives. And then I walk over, and I actually emailed my ex-girlfriend this week, and I was like, what was it? What was your memory of that? She's like, I remember you were so mad. Like, she's like, and you were faced with so many different colors. Like, you were blushing, but then you were also queasy and green. And I think this photo was definitely before the thing was taken.
But he doesn't, well, yeah, because he's smiling a little bit there, yeah.
And why couldn't he have been with my girlfriend at the time? Why couldn't he have been with her?
They had a backroom meeting.
Yeah.
And he drew the short straw.
Definitely. And then there's me. Looking really excited. But here's the biggest tragedy of the story, is that my dad paid $50 extra to have either them videotape either me or my brother Andy going down, and we flipped the coin, and they videotaped Andy going down. So I could have had videotape of this landing with the vomit.
That would have been America's Funniest Videos $10,000 winner. I mean, your life would have changed.
The vomit might have gone up into his camera, like, just major tragedy. So that's my number one story.
That's a good story, told quickly. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
George, do you have one for next week, or I could tell mine next week?
Why don't you do next week, and I'll do the week after.
Okay.
I'll think of something. Good.
All right. Do we have any reports from the Melindaverse? That's the Facebook group where our viewers get together and talk behind our backs.
Sure. Steve, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Oh, you go.
Okay. First of all, can I ask a question about the Melindaverse? Have they brought up Nick's the waffling last week? His waffling, how he went with Daddy a year and a half before, then he switched it to orgasmic. Has it been?
Oddly, not a single person mentioned.
Not one. Yeah.
They're so upset they can't even talk about it.
There's a lot of mention of Daddy, just never in the waffling sense.
I still think about that. I'm surprised that didn't go viral. Nick's orgasmic to Daddy.
All right, so
I think part of being an adult is admitting when you're wrong and growing and changing. I wouldn't want to just always have the same answer.
So, friend of the show and Australian video guru Reese has often sent in his versions of jingles, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this week he posted to Twitter a complete rendition of The Eyes Have It, the titular theme song to
Yes.
Knots Landing actress Donna Mills' legendary 1986 makeup tutorial video.
Yes.
So buckle up for 57 unforgettable seconds.
The eyes have it, the eyes have it, the eyes have it, the eyes have it. The eyes have it, the eyes have it, the eyes have it all. The eyes have it, the eyes have it, the eyes have it, the eyes have it. The eyes have it, the eyes have it, the eyes have it all. The eyes have it, the eyes have it, the eyes have it, the eyes have it. The eyes have it, the eyes have it, the eyes have it all. The eyes have it, the eyes have it, the eyes have it, the eyes have it. The eyes have it, the eyes have it,
Hopefully do this part.
the eyes have it all. The eyes have it, the eyes have it, the eyes have it, the eyes have it.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow, Reese outdid himself.
So he
Wow.
also pointed us to a hard-hitting interview Donna Mills did about The Eyes Have It for a short-lived QVC-style talk show, and the hosts were the late actress Meredith McRae along with Alex Trebek.
He
And
was a
Trebek,
host?
Look at Trebek. He's a hunk there.
well, he comes across rather poorly in this, so watch
Oh.
now this window into 80s gender dynamics.
I don't know Donna, so I won't lean over and kiss her. Donna, there's a rumor going around that one of the reasons I took the job of hosting this program is because I knew you were going to be the first guest, and I want to deal with that rumor right now. It's absolutely true.
Yeah. Do you think that the eyes are the very most important part of a woman's makeup? I mean, if you do nothing else when you go out in the morning, you've got to do your eyes.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Here's Bob Braun, though, right now to tell you a lot more about Donna's video. Bob?
Donna Mills is one of the few actresses in Hollywood who actually applies her makeup both on set and off. And in her video, The Eyes Have It from MCA Home Video, she shows you precisely how you do it.
Do women apply their makeup for themselves, for other women, or for the men in their lives?
Oh, goodness.
Meredith?
Okay. How many people out here would like to ask a question of Donna Mills? Yeah. I knew it, a lot. Who would
Half
like
of
to
them
ask
were guys.
That's true.
I used to date a girl who put on her makeup with a flashlight, and I guess that ruined that relationship. And I don't want to appear chauvinistic when I say this. So often we are waiting for women because they are applying their makeup. How long should it take a woman to put on a full load of makeup for an evening out on the town?
A full load?
Well, whatever.
Interesting way to put it.
I'm sorry, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Hi, Lynn, your question?
I use makeup
So
brushes.
look at these guys in the background. They are they're supposed to be the target audience of this.
Donna, we've run out of time for this segment. I want to thank you very much for being with us and for doing your bit for beautifying America. I want to add one more comment. On behalf of all the men out there, the lady does indeed look as good in person as she does on the air. It's been a delight to be with us today.
Wild right now.
100%.
And here is the on eBay right now. There's an Eyes Have It promotional poster for $10.
Sexy
Wow.
portrait.
If,
I was
anybody-
trying to find it, but our friends Jen and Nick, who run Bric-a-Brac Records in Chicago, had a giant promotional box, VHS box, that's in our office right now.
Right.
Locked away, but yeah.
Yeah.
They really put the promotional team behind this tape.
Well, and so somebody needs to get it for themselves, or it has to be off the market. I don't like the idea of this being out there for anybody to buy. It has to be a real fan of The Eyes Have It.
Yeah, we should probably buy it. Did you buy it? You should just buy it.
It's only
Nah.
$10.
It's a sexy portrait, George.
I'm going to make an
Nick.
offer of 3, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about Trebek and his button-down look, wearing a little cardigan. It's not right.
No.
I wonder what other things Trebek did, like other ventures that he had outside of Jeopardy. You know, because like Pat Sajak, he ventured into the world of talk shows.
Right.
They quit. They're just the game show for me. But I wonder what else Trebek did.
I think there was an article I saw that said that he had been trying for many years to break into the talk show business, but I didn't know I couldn't tell by the tone of it whether it was being sarcastic or not. So maybe.
I wonder if all these years at Jeopardy he's been living a life of quiet desperation. You know, I'll show up, I'll do this, I'll bang these out. and
he
play
got
golf.
emotional about it when he had that recent diagnosis, and he was like, this show, it needs to go on, and
yeah,
I'm gonna steer the ship as long as I can. And
yeah, I love the guy. I mean, I absolutely
he
love him.
did host Classic Concentration in the 80s for a while. I used to watch that with the Rebus puzzles and stuff. I remember he branched out a little bit in other game shows for a while.
Yeah, and he had a great interview on Howard Stern a couple years ago too.
That's right.
It's worth listening to.
Good sense of humor. I mean, we have him saying the F word too, so he's one of us.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry.
Do we want to get to Rick?
Yeah, let's rock some Rick. Here's Rick Catchkey telling us about Consumption Optional. He's going to show 3 favorites. Rick, thanks for hooking us up with Consumption Optional. I love it. Tons of videos on there, and you're going to show 3 of your favorites now.
Yeah, they're 3 kind of unique commercials to the show, to the Consumption Optional.
Yeah, okay. And it's just like a range of like a little bit of everything here, right?
Yeah, just a little sampler platter. It's all commercials from like 1981 to 1984, so it's just kind of a little taste of the wide variety that's available on the Consumption Optional.
Cool. Which one are we starting with?
We're gonna start with Wrigley's Spearmint Gum.
Great. I got it right here. Do you need any setup for this, or should we just play it?
So this one was actually a Consumption Optional. I made it off of 60 VHS tapes that I found in my parents' basement, and this was the first tape I grabbed. I threw it in just to see what was on there, and this was like one of the very first things that I saw, and was kind of like, okay, I have to make this thing now.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you chose this one because I love Wrigley jingles. Like Wrigley songs are like the pinnacle of like TV, like commercial jingles.
Right. There's so many levels and layers to just this 30-second song. I love it.
Okay. All right. Here's the first one. Wrigley Spearmint Gum.
When you need a little lift, but you just can't take a break, chew Wrigley's Spearmint Gum.
The cool, refreshing feeling of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum puts a little lift in everything you do. That nice, fresh flavor, that crisp, clean taste, that Wrigley's Spearmint pickup is going for you.
Wrigley's Spearmint Gum really keeps you humming. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum keeps you humming along. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum really keeps you humming.
16 million times a day, people everywhere enjoy a refreshing little lift chewing Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. The cool, refreshing flavor that keeps you humming.
It picks you up, it keeps you going. That spearmint feeling's coming through. That little lift, it gets you, puts a hum in everything you do.
A long commercial.
Wrigley's Spearmint Gum really keeps you humming. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum keeps you humming along. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum really keeps you humming.
Oh, that is a hit. I remember that commercial. That's so good.
They just have to pad that song out another 90 seconds, and you can put that on the radio.
Oh, exactly. And also a minute-long commercial for that? Like
for chewing gum.
Yeah. Also, they're talking about it like it's Adderall.
Right.
Everybody starts pounding their hammers faster now because they have some...
It's the original 5-hour energy.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, and a 60-second commercial for that. And they're just like, the people need more. The people want more of this.
30 seconds, not enough. No,
not at all.
And like this song, like I said, it dips, it picks up again. It takes you on a ride.
It really does. And the casting was fantastic too. I love the casting in there. Yeah, it's just a real toe tapper. Actually, all the Wrigley gum commercials are all good. Like Big Red, I think that's Wrigley, right? Remember Big Red? So kiss a little longer, hold tight a little longer.
So kiss a little longer, snuggle up a little longer, hold tight a little longer, longer with Big Red.
Remember that? Yeah. And then what else? Oh, double mint gum.
Double, double your refreshing.
So refreshing.
Double, double your enjoyment. Oh, no sugar gum, double freshens your mouth like double mint gum.
Everybody now.
And then what was on? Get your skis signed up, grab a stick of juicy fruit. The taste is gonna move ya.
Get your skis shined up, grab a stick of juicy fruit. The taste is gonna move ya.
I might, you know what? I want to do like a little retrospective on all those double mint or whatever they are, the Wrigley.
And all of them kind of like have that like Wrigley Spearmint Gum element to it. They all kind of have that. Probably the same jingle company wrote them all.
That's what I was just gonna say. It's totally the same jingle company. It'd be fun to do some research on that and find out.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got next?
All right. So this next one is it's a commercial for when The King and I, a touring production of The King and I, came to Chicago, and it's a bunch of people talking about why they love the show. One of them looks, it's not him, but it looks like it could be a young John Mulaney. And then after this plays, I'm going to share a little fun fact.
Okay, great. All right, here it is.
It's the best thing I ever saw. My knees are shaking. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Presenting live on stage, Yul Brynner, the original king in Rodgers and Hammerstein's most musical musical, The King and I.
Most musical. I love that too.
Greatest thing I've ever seen. Music and everything.
That show was fantastic.
I enjoyed every minute of it. He is the sexiest man in the world.
For a kid to love a show like that, it's gotta be good.
He has a sex appeal, and I think everyone should come out and see him in his red.
Good seats for The King and I are available now at the Airy Crown Ticketron or call 791-6000. That's 791-6000. It's a show for the whole family.
All right.
Yeah, so I really like, first of all, the most musical.
That's a great one.
Also, the very stereotypical Chicago guy. That show was fantastic.
That show was fantastic.
Central Casting showed up.
So the thing, this was like an eye-opener, though, for me and my sisters, because growing up, anytime my sisters or I would wear the color red like I'm wearing right now, my mom and dad would be like, oh, I think everyone should see you in your red. Or like, oh, you look good in that red. They would always, it was like an inside joke between them where they were referencing the color red. And then it was like, oh, it's because of this commercial from like 1983. That one woman where she's like, I think everyone should come out and see him in his red.
He has a sex appeal, and I think everyone should come out and see him in his red.
That's what my parents were referencing all these
They latched
years.
onto that deep cut reference.
Just that little moment somehow like stuck with them where they were referencing it 15, 20, 25 years later. And so like when I found this commercial and I showed it to them, I'm like, this is why you say that, right? And they're like, they like hadn't seen it since 83 or whatever, but
did they forget why they started saying that?
They knew it was from the King and I ad, but
I love that your family references commercials. Also a part that I noticed, like, it's fun for the whole family, but a lot of people are talking about him being sexy, and this show has sex appeal, and you don't normally hear those two things. And sex appeal.
Yeah, the one woman who says that her knees are shaking.
Yes, and then at the end, it's like, bring the whole family to this sexy musical.
You gotta see him in his red, Joe.
All right, what do we got? Last one.
All right, so this last one, it blew my mind when I saw this because I couldn't believe that this is real. This is like something you'd see as like a fake commercial on something. That's the setup I need.
All right, there we go. Here we go.
How would you like to see your Social Security card win you $200, $1,000, $5,000? Well, it can in the Sun Times Social Security Sweepstakes with $2,000 to win daily and $6,000 on Sundays. Altogether, there's over $160,000 begging to be won. With your Social Security card, this entry coupon in the Sun Times, with a snip of the scissors, you could turn this into this. Get the Sun Times and enter the Social Security Sweepstakes, but you have to be in it to win it.
What? That seems like a scam. They want your
right. It's like
security card?
This is like Patient Zero, the origin of like identity theft in the 80s. Probably was this.
Good God! What a terrible idea. You can win money, and then they would have your Social Security number,
right,
on them. Wow. I wonder if anything happened with that. Like if there was any.
That's like I want somebody now to be like an investigative reporter and look into how were the entries handled? Who had those records? What happened with this?
You be that investigative reporter. Can you do it? Can you try and track this down? Can you get answers to all these things? Who wrote the Doublemint or the Wrigley commercials?
Find that ad agency.
See if that is John Mulaney in that clip. You got a lot of work. I know you're still working full time.
Right.
Take a day off and get us some goddamn answers, would you? I also wanted to point out the host of that. He, the guy was like, "Yeah, you can win $100,000 if you." There's a term for that. There's a friend of mine worked in radio, and they called that the puking voice. And that guy had classic puking voice. And so, like, they would say, like, he's good. He's a bit of a puker, just like, all right, coming up next, 101.3 WIBA FM, like that.
Yeah, it sounds like a con artist, too.
It does.
All you need to do is send me your social security card.
Trust me. Yeah, good stuff. Well, thanks, Rick, for sharing. Do it again and get us some goddamn answers.
Absolutely. And, if anybody watches Consumption Optional, just shoot me a message on Twitter. Let me know what your favorite commercials were. Host and guest is my Twitter handle.
Sweet. Thanks, Rick.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
And there it is. I think I did a pretty good job interviewing Rick there. What did you guys think? Did I do a good job?
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Rick stole the show.
Yep.
And by the way, you can watch his entire feature-length Consumption Optional is what he calls it, the commercial. What do you call it? Pastiche? No. Is it art? Yeah, an orgy. Yeah, that's. I think
that's what Joe Dante called his thing.
Yeah. So anyway, it's fascinating. That's up on our SLP club at FoundFootageFest.
But also, you guys haven't seen my Rick interview, but we do talk about the Wrigley gum commercials and all the jingles, Big Red, Spearmint gum. George, I feel like this is a good rabbit hole for you to dive down. You remember, like, So Kiss a Little Longer.
Of course.
Yeah.
The custodians mopping up at the museum. They're still kissing.
And then the Doublemint twins and that whole thing. Maybe I don't know. Watch the interview and maybe go on a deep dive if it strikes your fancy.
I will.
Of the jingles of those, because those are pinnacle jingles.
Right. The people who made those are in the Commercial Hall of Fame, probably,
Definitely.
if there is one.
Definitely.
George, you want to leave us with something?
Well, I just wanted to mention that Melinda Sam VC very late last night sent me a message, or at least I got it very late last night. He said,
he's the guy who made our puppets, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, he said, I spotted a familiar face in a sketch comedy movie called Prime Time, also called American Raspberry from 1977, and had to do a double take. I'll show you this is the poster for it. It's like a Kentucky Fried Movie sort of spoof.
Yeah, like the Groove Tube kind of thing. Where
yes, yeah. And it was such that the Albuquerque Journal Thursday, July 6, 1978 review described it as, quote, crude and racist. And I can confirm that. And imagine how racist something has to be called racist in 1978.
Yeah.
So anyhow, it's bad. But he sent me the following. So I watched the first. I couldn't get past a few minutes of it, but it had this scene.
Mr. Nasty?
Oh, he's just.
That's his only appearance. Yeah. I was going to say, do you know who this is? He sent me these stills, but I found the movie, and sure enough,
I'm Mr. Nasty, the insult hitman, and I've got a contract on you.
It was hard to find like a real good side by side, but I think it's him.
That's 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
And he said he's not in the. He has no lines. He has no film credit, but I'm 99% sure that's Mr. Nasty. I went through I found a cut of the movie, downloaded it, went through every person in the credits last night when I was supposed to be working, and checked everybody. And he's not any of the people, not any of the listed.
It's an uncredited
extra.
walk-on role. Yeah.
Oh, but he's been in Naked Gun. He's been in Mr. Nasty.
Who is this guy?
We got to find him. I hope he's alive.
Like that was kind of what he'd be, the slob. And
there has to be we got to do a little documentary on this guy.
Very little.
We got we got to
But I love that people have their mind filter is set to looking for Mr. Nasty or McC in the movies they watch.
Yeah,
that's so great.
Well, I just like that Sam was just home on probably a Friday night, and he's like, let me pop in this slightly racist complete disaster of a sketch comedy movie from
And then he's like,
1978.
I'll email the VCR party investigator about this too.
Yeah.
It
I
is an
like that it
important
was,
lead.
I think the creep needs to know about this.
Yeah.
the
He was right.
tagline for Primetime was nonstop laughter, which I think is what we should call our Quarantine Classics tagline as well.
Right.
Non-stop plunkets.
I mean, how could that ever be true? And why would you want that to be true? I think that would be...
Die.
Yeah, you would
it's
die.
or like you've gone insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Tuesday we have a very special guest on VCR Party Live. It's Josh Schaefer from Lunch Meat Fanzine, which is a mostly horror, but just VHS in general zine. But he also just started a YouTube channel, and he's going to come on and show us some videos that are fit within the VCR Party wheelhouse. And I'm
You picked
excited.
4 good ones, 4 really good ones that I had never seen before. So yeah.
Plus our usual how to watch cyber videos on the internet and a ton of other videos. So we'll see you Tuesday, everybody.
That's it. If we tried harder, we could have done better.
We'll be right back right after that.
My nose isn't full of yuck anymore.
Only through the magic of Hollywood.
Everybody did a great job.